Our guest today is Renaissance woman Rhiannon Fiskradatz. Let's get started.
This is not your mother's Mahabharata. Beware. It's fucking epic. Hosted by SP Jayaraj.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy to have you here. This is part of this is happening because we've just become friends, and I talked about this podcast idea with you guys and seemed excited. And then we watched that great Indian cultural movie, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, God. We sure did.
And I feel like I loved them. I really enjoyed it. It was just a month of watching these movies. I've never seen them before. That one was weird. And I'm just like, oh, this is... And what was very prevalent in all these people who love this movie was just the prevalent amount of white guilt as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's...
We know
Yeah.
what's problematic about it.
Yeah, so
We've
I
known about
really...
it since the beginning.
I need to tap everyone at that party because they're all going to be just indebted to say yes to me to be part of here's a
And
taste of
a
Indian
lot
culture.
of entertainers in the group too.
There's a lot of entertainers. Yeah, it's a cool crowd. Unexpectedly.
I'm sure that we've spotted way more than you did.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
you
there's
don't
stuff
even
that we just
care
don't know.
about.
Yeah.
You're just
I'm
like,
sure you're
that?
right.
That's what you're worried about? All right.
So for me, the Mahabharata, it's this huge part of Indian culture. It's Indian mythology. It's this grand epic that is bigger than the Odyssey and, what is it? Not Ulysses, but probably...
Iliad?
Iliad. The Odyssey
There you
and Iliad
go.
combined, that's the big kind of line about it, 7 times bigger. It was my pandemic reading, and I've always been into mythology, and then getting into this one, which I've pseudo grown up with. I only got really into mythology when I was in college, and it was actually Nordic mythology. And then from there I looked into others, but I never really did too much into Hindu mythology, Indian mythology as well. That happened much later, and now it's become really influential in my stuff. I am a fantasy world builder, and you came for the story we told, which is the origin of my fantasy world. And that, I've had my fantasy world now for years. And
I know this is not a visual podcast, but if we all looked to the wall across from us, there's an entire world on the wall in picture form.
It sure is.
That Satish built. It's basically an entire different Earth.
so I've had this world
Called Adajari.
called Adajari.
It's a vivid depiction.
Yes.
Thank you.
Multiple
So I've
continents.
I've had this world in my head for a long time. I've made the physics of it, the different people and the different races, and how it kind of bridges all my different interests in mythology. But this was years ago, and I never had the origin of it. It was only truly after reading the Mahabharata that I figured out the origin of my world, which of course is going to run into everything. And so the fact that it unlocked that part of the imagination for me that makes total sense for this. I'm devout to this story, and I just want to be able to tell this story, know this story, so I'm doing this podcast where I get to tell the story to friends. We're actually going to start roundabout where everyone else starts the story, in the sense that there's all the stuff that happens that connects the moon to this bloodline that we are going to follow. So we're actually going to start on the 14th king, and there are stories before that, just kind of go down the generations.
Okay.
And it's just kind of short stories, at least, well, no, that's not so. Most people kind of start where we are going to start. For in a sense, we're getting part 1 of the entire kind of story.
Okay.
And, yeah. So it starts, you all ready?
Yes.
Yes. So fucking
Enter
right.
Okay.
part
All right.
1. Mahabharata.
So the Mahabharata starts with a king named Shantanu. Shantanu is a very successful king. He is a descendant himself of Bharata, who is, India today is still called Bharat. So is Shantanu, part of this mythology, a descendant of Bharat, he is the one who kind of is king of the land that is now known as India. Essentially so. Good king, fantastic king, does everything right. He loves to go hunting in the forest. And for him, when he goes hunting in the forest, it's kind of his meditation, it's his prayer, so he doesn't do it with anyone else. Like, that is his time on his own to do his thing. So he goes hunting, not doing particularly well, and keeps going kind of deeper and deeper into the forest. And he gets to the river Ganga, which is also like the river Ganges. So he gets to the river Ganga, and lo and behold, a woman. Who he, of course, immediately falls in love with.
Well,
Of
that's
course.
fucking-
You know?
It's a woman.
She had
Yeah.
boobs. You
Now-
know she did.
He's
I'm assuming. We're assuming.
And a nice ass, I'm assuming, too.
Assumptions.
Assumptions.
All. But I
Were,
think,
were we correct?
I feel safe.
I would say they flowed nicely.
The ass did?
I'm sorry, her boobs or her ass flowed nicely.
Both.
I'm just going to accept it and move on.
Yeah, I would do that. It might come clearer in a second, or it might not.
Oh.
So he meets-
Love it.
Interesting.
And there is
I'm
this
in.
instant attraction,
Yeah.
As there often is.
as there often is, and he's someone who, he's king. He's had opportunities before and has never been interested.
Quick question. Does he look like a king? Does this
Oh, he looks good.
woman or... Not my question.
Oh.
Does this woman or thing presenting as a woman, because it's a folk story, so I'm assuming that anything could happen at this moment.
Sure.
Does he look like a king? Does she know he's a king? Is he presenting as a king?
He comes
have
up to
a crown?
her.
Has she even noticed him yet?
She's noticed him.
Okay.
Okay.
She's noticed him very much so, and he just walks up to her.
Doesn't matter that he's a king.
Oh, to her?
Is that a piece of the story? Is what I'm asking. Can
That
we
it
see
matters that
he
he's a
has
king?
that he has power and
It's
authority?
hard to answer that question at
Oh,
this moment.
interesting.
She
Then-
does.
Then don't answer it. Move on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's irrelevant.
I wouldn't say irrelevant, but he comes up to her and just says, I am Shantanu, King. I am King Shantanu. I would want you to. I love you. I want you to be my wife. I want to take you back to Hastinapura, which is in the Sanskrit word, the city of elephants, which is the capital of this kingdom that's going to be there throughout the entire Mahabharata. Marry me.
Okay, hang on.
You don't believe in love at first sight?
I know that that's how these stories work. But
Yeah.
you're telling me not a word has been exchanged.
No need.
No. Just a look, just a glance. He happens upon this woman, quote unquote, and they fall in love at first sight. And the first thing he says is, "Come, marry me."
I'll say this.
Come be queen.
I have not read the original, and every teller tells it differently.
Yeah.
So, as I'm the teller now, I'm going to say, yeah, fuck yeah.
All right. I'm on board. Let's
they
go.
see each other, instant attraction,
Glitter,
that
sparkles,
feels like deep in the soul.
giant hearts.
And she,
Bling, bling.
okay, now it's not super simple, because it can't be that simple.
I would assume.
She says,
Darn.
I have terms.
I got a thing. Oh, I have germs? Is that what you...
Terms.
She has crabs. Listen, I just want to be upfront.
Uh-huh.
I have crabs.
Man, all these jokes I have in my head that I can't.
Okay, don't
Crabs
say
make
Terms,
that.
got it.
sense.
Terms.
Oh God, crabs make sense.
It does.
Oh,
Can't wait.
That's adorable.
Let's keep going.
She-
Let's hear about the crabs.
Says.
We'll get there. Let's not force the crabs. I think they're
No,
going to come
don't
naturally.
force the crabs.
Crabs do
The
not love to
crabs.
be forced.
No, you have
They
to
gotta
be
come
gentle with
naturally.
them and coerce the crabs.
Terms.
She
What are
has
terms?
terms.
Sorry.
The first term, which doesn't help the mystery for you guys,
Oh.
is that he cannot ask who she really is.
Yeah, I knew it!
Yeah.
Sorry, that was loud. I knew.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second thing is
She's like a
he
killer clown or something.
It's common in
He's a-
Indian mythology. Is
he's
when
a-
you
he's a
stand
yeah.
The common killer clown.
with the
Uh-huh.
white face and the red lips
Yeah.
and the poofy hair. Yeah, those are
100%.
common in Indian
yeah,
mythology.
that came straight out of the Vedas.
Yeah.
Pennywise is
Yeah.
like a common character
Yeah.
in
It's
this story.
Pennywise.
It started with yeah.
Sorry.
With a German accent.
Uh-huh.
No. Indians
I'm
also
so
say
sorry.
we-
We've
No,
diverted you
it's I'm
so
telling
far.
you, the
Keep going.
appropriation of Indian culture, it started
Is
with Temple
everywhere.
of Doom, and it's ended with like Pennywise.
Amazing.
Her second term. No matter what I do, you cannot question me. No matter how horrible a thing it seems.
You never say yes to that.
You cannot question me.
You never say yes to that. That's insane.
He says yes.
Oh, God.
Of course he says yes. He has a connection, man.
Does he?
Yeah, he feels a connection with this woman.
It's the vibes.
Is that code for erection?
Yes.
Okay.
Part of it, sure, yeah. I mean,
he has the erection, and it's drawing him to her.
Sure, yep.
Yeah.
Like,
got it.
You know, I already told her
he's floating through the air.
She's got the flowing breast and ass. There's
She
affection
does.
there.
They're flowing toward one another. I can visualize it. I'm on board. I got you.
So she says yes, and they get married. She is a wonderful queen. He is as happy as he's ever been.
Oh, great.
And then I think it's just like within a year, she's pregnant.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
So the king is now excited. Yeah, so she's got a good flow.
Ugh. Why?
I don't even know what it means.
Leave it.
He doesn't even
leave it on the table, you guys.
It's
fine.
Yes.
I still argue it'll make sense. Okay. He is excited. The nation's excited. Like, finally this motherfucker king has, like, a son coming.
Great.
You know, because he's been putting it off for a while. Like, no one knows why. She's not as excited.
Oh, no.
And he doesn't, really know what's going on, but he figures she's pregnant. Things happening in the body. I'm not going to question it. Whatever.
Well, that's wise.
Yeah. And so, 9 months go by. And God comes and, like, because she's kind of living in, like, in an apartment area. Like, he's a king, so they live in different areas for whatever reason. He's told that she's given birth to a boy.
Oh. Huzzah!
So he rushes over.
We love a boy.
Love that tiny penis.
Yeah.
Means there's so much more knowledge in that tiny penis.
They sure do. That's where it belongs. That's where it lives.
He rushes over. And there are, like, guards outside the room, and he tries to, like, just break in, and they're trying to tell him something, and he just, like, get the fuck out of my way.
Don't go in
Goes
there.
in.
You should listen.
She's not there.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And so he's like, what's going on? So, like, they tell him, like, she has taken the baby, taken a carriage, and ordered, like,
I'm guessing gained her true form.
No.
Oh, okay. Move on.
She takes the baby... And she said that she's gone to the river.
Oh.
Where she was found.
Is this a Medea thing? Just go on. We'll get there.
Like Medea. Like the...
Medea kills her children.
Okay.
Stop spoiling
I'm thinking of a different
story.
Medea. I'm thinking of Tyler Perry. Which probably is the wrong different Medea.
Different Medea.
Okay.
It's even spelled differently.
Okay.
It's an ancient Greek myth.
Okay.
Yeah. She kills her children because her husband is taking a new wife for political reasons. Mm-hmm. So to get back at him, she kills her children.
Okay.
Their children.
One way to do it.
Yeah.
That's how my husband and I met each other. We were doing that play.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say you were killing children.
No,
and
I had to clarify
and you don't have children, so maybe that's why.
It informed our decision, to be sure.
Indeed.
It's like the foundation.
So she was not like Medea.
I don't know. We haven't got that yet.
Oh, God. Okay, keep telling.
He takes his horse, races there, and sees her with the child over the river, and says, like a mantra, says some words of some kind, and she drops the child into the river, and the child drowns.
Ah!
And he's devastated.
Well, obviously.
And, he comes up, and she sees him, and she rushes to him and grabs him before he can say anything, and she says, remember the vow. You cannot ask. And she just hugs him and embraces him, and he loves her. He really does, like, love her. And...
So she did it for a reason.
Is she a mermaid
doesn't
and
ask.
the child is still alive and it's swimming around like a little fish, like a little tadpole?
We
child
don't
is
know.
dead.
Ah!
Yeah.
It's really dead. It's not coming back as something else. Oh, he's not answering. Okay, go on.
Yeah. You ask all the wrong
Child
questions.
is dead.
I'm good
So-
at this.
He goes back. The wound kind of hurts him, obviously.
Sure.
And she, at the time, is
Kinda.
very distraught. But
Okay.
recovering a lot faster than he is from whatever the hell is happening here. Pregnant. Second time. He's excited. Like, doesn't know what's going on, but excited. And, yeah. You guessed it. From your look on your faces. Same thing. He gets and he sees and she puts the child into the river. Again. Second child.
Oh my god. You'd think she'd be on watch and they'd lock her down or something.
Right? There'd be some
He
sort of...
wouldn't allow that. He
action.
loves her.
Well,
and she told
he did
him...
say they went in with open eyes to this relationship.
Yeah, but he didn't say, I will stand by and watch you kill our
But
children.
he
said he would not question
said he
her.
wouldn't question her.
Well, that was a dumb move on his part.
But he said it.
He vowed it. And if he does,
I
here's the
would not
thing.
have said yes.
If he
Well,
does,
no, of course
she's
not,
gone.
but he did.
That's the
Say
deal.
that again?
Sorry. If he violates either of the laws,
She's gone.
she's gone.
Yeah, I get it.
She leaves him.
Okay.
So, third child.
Oh my God.
Fourth
No,
child.
come
Oh my
on.
god.
Fifth child.
Oh.
Sixth child.
Why does
Seventh
she even
child.
just let
It's a
herself
lot.
get pregnant?
Shantanu is like
She clearly wants this.
aging. So
She would be stopping it if she didn't.
Yeah. Say that again?
Shantanu is like aging quickly now
Oh,
as
for
well.
sure.
Oh dear. Yeah,
Because
that'll
that's
age
all
you.
the and he is
Like his life force is going into these children.
his life force of like and this like who is this woman? Is she a demon? Is she like what like starts doubting now?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I am a king after all, like it's a lot of power. Eighth child is pregnant. So pregnant with the eighth child.
Jesus.
And when it closes now to that moment, Shantanu goes straight to that place in the river. And he sees her coming, and he sees her left the child, and he can't do it. Like, he gets up, yells, "Do not kill my child. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is going on? You are killing our children? Are you like, full of questions."
Sure.
What does she do?
She lowers the child, and she's upset as well, and she's kind of teary. And she gives the child to him. Like, I guess this child means more to you than the two of us. Now that it's done, let me explain two old stories
Oh God.
of who we are.
Oh God.
Hello, listeners. Our guest today is Rhiannon Fiskradatz. Rhiannon is, among many things, a musician who goes by Mama Fairy. Her debut album, Anthems for the Apocalypse, is experimental electronic pop music and is available on all platforms.
Let the ocean sing my song. Its waters fill my veins, tumbling over ancient bones. It's never twice the same.
Rhiannon is also one half of Songversations, along with Shannon Custer. Songversations amplifies intersectional feminism through song, story, and ritual. Check out this and all of the other amazing work she does at www.rhiannon.fiskradatz.com. That's www.rhiannon.fiskradatz.com. All of these links will be in the episode description. Let's get back to the story.
From ashes, skin like armor, confident and serene.
Shantanu, in an earlier life, was a king named Mabhishek. In the time of this earlier life, when the realms were much closer, kings were able to go into the court of the devs, of basically the spirits, or the gods. Let's say lesser kind of gods. But the kings were able to go into that court. So Mahabhishek as a king visiting the heavens, sees this goddess, Ganga, who is the goddess of the river. The other gods, the other devs, see this attraction, do not like it. He's very blatant about it, staring at her, very much into her, and she's embracing it as well. Do not like this. This should not happen between the king and the gods. So Indra, king of the gods, curses both of them. Curses Mahabhishek that he will leave. I think he said that was the end of his life. Curses Mahabhishek so that in a future life that he will meet her and she will break his heart.
Okay.
So that was the Mahabhishek, assuming he dies at that point, or soon after, he's forced to leave the heavens at that point. And we don't hear much about his life after, and then he is the one who comes back, as you guys know now, as Shantanu.
Mm-hmm.
Ganga now is a goddess, so whether she cannot be, she's not like killed instantly, she's still around, but this curse of Indra the king of the gods is there. It's happening no matter what in her future. So she goes about trying to figure out, not really knowing what's going to happen. The second story to tell you is with 8 gods known as the Vasus. With this whole thing of like people coming from the world into heavens and openly, especially the people who are able to do this are the Rishis, the people we kind of talked about who are magicians and mortals. And there's one particular sage whose name is Vasishta. Vasishta has a magical cow named Nandini and spends his time,
We know a Nandini. That's adorable.
a person, a human
She's
being.
a magical cow. Cute. I gotta call her.
We should call her, yeah.
Sorry.
So he has a magical cow and the cow's calf as well, which I do not know the name of. I don't know if it's particularly named. The Vasus are asked by their wives to capture the cow. And they're like, there's no real, we're immortals. Like, the whole point of the cow is that the milk that it provides grants immortality to immortals. So, we don't need that. Like, why are you asking us to go get this cow, the 8 of us? Magic number, 8 of us. And one particular leader of the...
Why is 8 a magic number?
Oh, from the... Okay, I guess we'll find out.
Oh.
8 was the 8th... It was the 8th child.
Got it.
And wasn't the 8th king, too?
Oh,
Didn't we start with
14th.
the... Oh, 14th king.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
I'm asking because I didn't know if 8 was a magic number in this whole... Remind me of the whole story.
Mahabharata.
Mahabharata.
Yeah.
8 is not a magic number within that.
Not that I
eight
know
is just
of.
a magic number in this story because it was the 8th child.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, total tangent there. So, so Prabhasa, who is kind of he's the one who's like, all right, guys, our wife wants us to do it. My wife wants me to do it. The reason that the wives want them to do it is because apparently they have a friend of theirs, or Prabhasa's wife has a friend of theirs who is mortal and wants the cow to grant them, that friend, immortality. So Prabhasa and the 7 others are like, fine, gods that they are, go grab the cow, and Vasishta's doing something else. Vasishta comes back and sees that his cow and the calf are gone. And enraged with the magic and the power in him, knows who it was who took the cow. And he curses them.
Oh, boy.
He curses them, these arrogant, immortal gods, to be reborn as mortals and suffer as mortal beings do. For them to come and to,
It's a pretty great punishment.
They freak out.
Yeah, as you would.
Because one thing about this story is that this is something that happens often, where you have rishi, sages of the earth, having inexplicably more power, or at least power over gods through the practices that they do. So they come begging. They're like, sorry, man, here's the cow, here's the calf.
Our wives made us do it.
Yeah, our wives made us do it. We're sorry.
Those bitches.
You know, and he's kind of exhausted from this. And
Maybe not.
maybe.
They might have.
Yeah, they were trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
So, where was I? Yeah, so they're begging him.
Yeah.
And one thing that we've learned kind of from the earlier and like this, the idea of curses and even blessings being something that just can't be taken back is something that runs throughout this epic. Once it is done in that passion with that power, that's not going back in the bottle. He does feel bad for them. He does feel sorry. They've returned his cow and calf. So he promises them that your lives will be brief on Earth. Except, Prabhasa, you were the one that instigated this entire thing. You were the one who brought the others. So you will have a long life on Earth, full of pain and sorrow.
Oh.
I got it.
So the 8 of them take that and they go to Ganga and they ask her, can you be our mother? Can you ensure this, that our lives are going to be short? And so she says yes. And so each of those were the Vasus.
Holy cow.
And she tried with the 8th one
Yeah.
and was thwarted.
And the 8th one is the one that lives the long.
The 8th one, Prabhasa.
Prabhasa.
Yeah. Once Rhiannon's recovered from this drama,
No.
I'll have her say
I'm not.
Prabhasa.
Oh
I
my
can't.
gosh.
What happens to the 8th one?
The 8th one is
Lives a
given
horrible life.
to Shantanu. Not a horrible life,
Okay.
but
I mean,
a grand, a
Is a
long
prince
life.
a king of male or female, or does it matter?
Is the prince the king?
The 8th child.
Prabhasa is a
Yeah.
male, right? Is a
Male, yes.
Male-
They've all
male
been
heir.
boys.
So, living a pretty good life.
He'll be
A
all right.
prince?
be fine. Why are we worried?
I mean, I'm not too worried about... Okay, I don't like those eyebrow raises. Let's go on.
It's going to be a full and long life is the promise.
I mean, I understand when you're a god, you
And
don't
that-
want to live a full, long life, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to do it as a prince, that's all right.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. And so she gives the child to Shantanu. Well, just says she doesn't give the child. They kind of go back and forth a little. She agrees that she will raise him, this 8th child.
Oh,
But-
she doesn't
Oh.
just immediately disappear. That's what I thought it was going to happen.
I thought you were just
She-
going to hand him over and leave.
She will raise this 8th child until
Why
he is
does
of
she-
age,
Okay.
within her power, within her magic, because she does love this child.
Sure.
She's loved them all.
Sure.
And so she will take him, she will teach him for the first years of his life, till
Okay.
16, basically.
Okay.
Wow.
And then he will
That's
come to
generous
the
of
king.
her.
Yep. But this relationship between the two of them is now over,
Sure.
because he broke his word.
No
He
more
questioned
fucking.
her.
Yeah, no, it's
Mhm.
a mistake.
That's closed for business.
She's not flowing anymore.
No. You get it
don't
now?
like
You
anything.
get all the flows with the
I don't-
river goddess stuff?
I
With the
guess.
flowing
Yeah,
ass and tits?
yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't say flowing ass and tits.
It seems.
I
the
guess there are
visual,
other
The
implications.
visual is.
It's like you're on
different,
a corner going, girl, you got some flowing ass and tits.
which is
Actually-
confusing.
Yeah.
It's not a clear.
No, is that a compliment?
I don't.
Is it?
I don't think so.
Because I feel like that means
I
they're
mean-
flopping all over the place.
With all
Yeah,
the context that we didn't have ages ago, in which case it was terrible then.
Yeah.
So
I don't
this
think
is not.
anything. I don't
let's
think.
move on.
This is
I don't
not
think any of
necessarily
it
a
helps.
philosophical question. we
No,
should
no,
pursue.
no, no. It's not at all.
But when the tape is off, we'll keep talking about flowing tits and ass.
The tape should be on, and that would control the flowing tits and ass.
All right.
Sorry, continue.
Move on.
Okay, I was just waiting till you guys to be done. With the
We're
tits and
never
ass.
going to be done.
I don't
This
wanna,
is gonna
like,
go
take off.
for years. This is going to be
exactly
something
like
that
the original.
that we come back to. This is going to be a callback for ages.
Flowing
Oh, you mean the
tits and
flowing
ass.
tits and ass?
Yeah.
So move on.
This is
That
what I
ass
want
is
now.
flowing right now.
Now, when you see like images of like the goddess
I can't
Ganga,
wait.
this is what you're gonna think of.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
maybe this-
am.
Podcast is counterintuitive to the whole purpose of this.
No, I
Oh,
think
well.
it's perfect.
We'll make our own. So, yeah, and then they kind of depart, and he continues to be a good king. He continues to do his duty, and he is loved, but he's definitely sad. He's definitely sad. He's lost the love of his life, like
Buddy.
past
Oh, a
love
lot
of
of
his
kids.
life, and his kids. And his sadness of
All this hope is in the one child.
all of the one child,
Oh, I hope he does okay.
and his sadness.
Oh my God.
He is able to channel his sadness into being a good king.
Good, great.
Like that is his devotion.
He's,
That
That's
is his
kind of
purpose.
amazing.
He's
He could-
unique in that.
He could very easily go.
Could
Dark,
very
dark,
easily
dark,
go,
dark.
but
He
he
could become a
has
dark
his. You know, he has his wisdom. He has the regiments. He's learned from the Vedas.
Yeah.
He has his chastity. So.
He sure does.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what?
He has it now.
He does now. It's enforced.
Why does he have chastity? He's the king. He could have a harem with no
He
problem.
doesn't.
Okay.
And this comes back to, so one thing we covered in the first episode is how, well, when you're not jacking off and when you're keeping your good stuff in you, that stuff is reabsorbed in the body. And there's some signs to prove that, and that's part of Ayurveda as well, where that's just something that does happen. And so, not now, I haven't met a guy who hasn't done it for 20 years now. I don't think I ever will. But
Not in America.
the idea of the story is that in itself grants him like willpower and strength.
Whew.
I'm gonna
I'm
send-
gonna skip right past that because I didn't hear the first episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I disagree with the big part of that, but I understand why in the mythology why that works.
It's in the mythology, and
we
like
got
one
into a very interesting conversation.
of the
Right, you
things
did.
about the Mahabharata is that the idea of that with it being connected to the Vedas is that, and this is I'm just saying like how it is meant to be, it is meant to like point to all these other ideas of wisdom.
Okay.
So it is. I think it is a proponent of like just that this is a fact of life. At the same time, it's not saying, you know, we need new generations, of course, of people. So it's definitely not asking everyone to be celibate.
Right.
Don't do
Right.
that. So 16 years pass. And then Shantanu continues to do his hunting, although he's even like stopped hunting. It's called hunting in the texts, but then he's not actually even hunting. He's not killing any more animals at all. So he's just kind of going and being in the woods himself and committing to the practices, but not to the final kill. It's part of his mourning. 16 years, he goes back to Ganga and the river, and it's blocked by a fucking shit ton of arrows.
The river?
The river is blocked.
By what?
A shit ton of arrows.
Arrows. How?
Someone
Paint
fired.
the picture for me.
Okay. Billions of arrows have been shot into the Ganga.
Uh-huh. So there's a dam of arrows?
There is a dam of arrows
Holy
that is on the riverside or that is holding the flow of
Holding
the
the
water
river?
back?
holding the river back.
It's a dam.
That's a lot of arrows.
That's
a
fucking
lot of arrows.
That's
Shot from the
billions of arrows.
He
Can
just
you
sees
imagine
this.
how they need to be wedged together
Yeah.
to stop water from coming
sky?
through?
Holy shit.
That's like an
Oh, yeah.
ages-long war or one big fucking battle.
Mm-hmm.
Or one god going
Good point.
and just vomiting arrows.
Good point. Which was it?
Arrowed. What?
It
Sorry.
is his son. So he sees these arrows
Do
blocking
tell.
the river, and it bursts open. The water flow does kind of finally pushes
Because
them
he
all.
looks at it?
Just while he's there?
No, just
because
the
he's
timing
like,
of things.
Oh, he just timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
He
Or
just
perhaps he
happened
was
to be there
yeah.
when it...
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe he was because it must be an amazing sight to see. Maybe he sat out for half an hour. Was like, what the fuck is this?
Or a day.
But
Who
at
knows?
some point, the water wins out, and the arrows come down the river, and there's this kid just sliding on it.
He's like riding the arrows.
He's like riding these arrows
Fuck
coming
yeah,
down.
like he's surfing the arrows down the
Yep.
Ganges River.
Yep.
That's
hops.
amazing.
fun.
Yeah.
That's a good visual.
That's an amazing visual.
He hops onto land and like runs
To be a man.
past Shantanu
Uh-huh.
to Ganga, who is there. And he turns around
she's
and there
arrived.
she is.
Wait, why?
She's there.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the time has now come to pass on this boy to Shantanu to race.
He's 16 now.
He's 16 now.
And he's really cool. He's a surfer dude.
Mm-hmm.
And all the girls dig him.
All the girls do dig him.
Is he kind of a little blonde? He's just a little bit. He's just got some tips. He's got some...
That feels Azure. That is very Western. He is not blonde.
I think he's got some tips.
He does not have tips. That is so lame. That is so 1980s.
But can you picture
surfer.
it?
I can. Of course I can. I've seen Point Break. I'm just saying
he's
no.
like,
Okay.
Whatever
Right.
whatever you say when you do your fingers like the thing that I'm doing
Hang
right now.
10, dude.
Hang 10,
Yeah.
dude. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. I'm not a surfer.
So,
I would be terrible at surfing. Like,
You don't have all the antiquated sayings
I don't have the sayings. That's the only reason I'd be bad at surfing.
just because you don't have the lingo.
Correct.
I'll teach it to you.
Thank you. And then I will be able
I'm
to
from
surf.
Wisconsin. I know it all.
young Patrick Swayze, this young boy,
I'm not saying he
Mother
was
and son.
white. I'm just saying he had white tips.
We'll talk about it later. Azure.
Sorry. I'm going to draw this guy surfing. I'm excited about
Can't
it.
wait.
so she tells Shantanu, here's your son. His name is Devavrata.
Oh.
I have had him taught by the very best of the best. I've had him taught by the sage Vasishtha, who was the immortal sage who cursed him to live this new life. So it's interesting to me that he teaches him the Vedas. He teaches him the holy books. She has also taught him question.
I think I missed the part, and now I understand that it's gone.
Great.
Now I understand that he's been taken away, and I'm assuming it happened at that first moment when she held him, and the king said, "Who's that?" And the whole thing happened. But I think I missed the part when he was taken away until he was 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she decides
Did we
to
say that?
Yes. We
Okay.
did
I will
have...
say it now. She will raise him.
Recap it for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that moment of
At that
this.
moment when she tells him the stories of their
Yep.
past lives,
Yep.
they
She says, "I'm going to take him away from him."
I will raise him for the first 16 years of his life,
Got it.
and then hand him to you.
Okay, now the entrance makes sense. Move on. Thank you.
For these 16
And he
years,
surfs in.
I got it. I got the image is
Yeah.
fantastic.
so
Little
for the,
Keanu Reeves. Got it.
little Keanu Reeves, yeah, dark hair. Closer, a little closer.
Or Patrick Swayze, whichever one you want. Keanu is probably never mind. Just move on. I can't.
But he's so cute. He's a little 16-year-old. Sorry.
So he's been taught by Vasishtha, who is the Veda, who is the the sage who cursed him as a god ages ago. And then by Brihaspati, who is another god who teaches him politics. And then the big one that she... the big one is that she begged Parasurama, a warrior god, to teach him the art of war, martial arts, archery.
Cool.
That's like a big deal. For one
He's
thing,
a
like,
badass.
yeah, Parasurama to me is like one of the biggest guys.
Parasurama.
Yeah. One thing to know about Parasurama, which will kind of come back in this epic, is that in his story, there's a caste known as the Kshatriyas, who's the warrior caste. They're kind of like the warrior king caste. Their responsibility is, to be good kings and guardians. There was a point in time when they were not, when they were tyrants. And so Parashuram slaughtered the fuckers. And he does not like Kshatriyas. He does not like warriors. He will not teach his arts to those people, to anyone in that line. He really actually doesn't teach anyone after that, especially after killing them. But because it's the river goddess Ganga, he agrees. And then they depart ways, and that's it. He will never see her again. He has a son to raise now.
Yeah, he's got shit to do.
He's got shit to do. He does, but at the same time, like, all of this tragedy that he has gone through. Think about all the crap that he has gone through, and the teachings that this boy has gotten from actual gods. from warriors, from warrior gods.
It's a little intimidating. He might be a little intimidated by his son.
The relationship they form, Shantanu continues to be a good king,
Okay.
but Devavrata is still the more mature one.
Makes sense.
And people are
Interesting.
excited, in a sense, for that one time when Devavrata will become the next king. They love Shantanu. They love what he's done, but if they get this guy to be...
But he's only had one lifetime, right? The king? Whereas
Shantanu?
Dev...
No, Shantanu was Mahabhishek before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So never
You
mind.
forgot.
I did. I completely forgot about Mahabhishek.
Mahabhishek.
Mahabhishek. Say it again.
Mahabhishek.
Mahabhishek. We've been drinking whiskey.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mahabhishek.
You're alone in that. You're
I'm on...
Mahabhishek.
And so...
Mahabhishek.
I didn't mean to throw you under the bus. You're not
Mahabhishek?
alone. Mahabhishek?
Mahabhishek.
Mahabhishek.
Okay, we got
We
it.
can do it. It's fine. I'm excellent at pronunciation.
Mahabhishek.
There is now a king. There's
Continue.
finally a lineage that's going to happen. The king is
Sperm!
happier again.
Sorry. Well, that's how the lineage continues.
Yeah.
Love it.
You need the sperm.
Love it.
I mean...
The king is happier again. He goes and he continues to do his hunting things. And at some point just decides to go to a different river. He's going to go to the Yamuna River on one day. So he goes to the Yamuna River and smells something powerful and fragrant, and it's getting him going. And there's a beautiful...
In what way?
In an erotic way.
Okay, keep talking.
There is another woman
Oh, for fuck's
by the river, a different river.
Does she have flowing tits and ass?
Yeah. Well, scaly?
What?
Oh!
No.
Is she a mermaid or is she's just a drake?
water nymph?
She actually is. Yes, to both questions.
She's a dragon and a mermaid?
And a water nymph?
Well, I heard mermaid and water.
I said water
Oh,
nymph.
she's
something else.
Oh, well, those make way more sense.
So
together.
she
I
was.
love a water dragon, though. Love a water dragon.
Who doesn't?
Mhm.
Sorry.
So she, we covered this last time and it's interesting that she comes back. She was a water nymph, she was a water nymph, cursed to be a fish. No, that was her mother. Okay, a water nymph was cursed to be a fish.
Yes.
Then the fish ate sperm, king sperm,
Don't love that. Don't know why
That's
that
from
happened.
That's from episode 1.
and
This is
then
from episode
Okay.
became pregnant.
Well, I still don't love it, but
Yeah.
that doesn't seem consensual.
No, well, yeah, you gotta listen to it. It's a lot
Gotta
to
get
cover
started.
right
I'm
now.
gonna move past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, fish becomes pregnant, fish is caught, fish is, killed, and then the water spirit that it was, goes into the heavens. There are 2 kids there. She is that second one grown up and given to the Fisher King.
Okay.
She originally smelled like fish for her entire life.
Sure. Like you do.
Yeah, that's kind of what, that's what she was born
You're a
in.
fish spirit. You smell like fish.
And then
That's
she was-
just logical.
Yeah, but she was blessed by a sage to not have that smell anymore and to be more fragrant. So that's...
Just smell better.
Okay.
Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
We
I love that
went deep on this.
That's like the magical thing that she was given. You just don't smell anymore.
You don't smell like a fish.
No. She smells beautiful now.
No, great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm really happy that it's not
Her
just
pheromones
like you
are
have zero
on.
smell.
Mhm.
She went from fishy smell to you smell like rose water. That's great. Okay,
No, her-
Yeah.
listen.
No,
To
keep
me,
going.
I recognize it's not rose water. I'm just making a
to me
a
it
descriptive-
means.
It
to
is
me it
actually flowery, but also has
Oh.
somehow that underlying fish element smell to it.
well, that's
Sounds
not
terrible.
great. Then
I was
why?
gonna
Yeah, but it was a
say
wizard who did it, so he
that
knew what he was doing.
He
Somehow
didn't
made
know
it
what he was
super
doing. I was
attractive.
gonna say that I thought. To me, it feels like it just meant that they made it her so her pheromones were appealing.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, there's definitely.
but if it's just rose,
Analogically speaking, if
if
that's
just
a
flowers
word,
and fish, that sounds terrible.
that's gross. But
That's
if
like
it's
a bad
about
sushi
pheromones,
restaurant.
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like if it's about like you smelled
I
like
think it's
fish
about
and now it's
pheromones.
about there's fish and flowers in this concoction. It's because we're trying to draw your lover in, and that's what he likes.
That's what I.
That
think
makes
it is.
sense to
That
me.
makes way
Right.
more sense.
That's
Right.
what we're going with.
Great, thank you.
Not a bad like sushi restaurant.
Not a bad sushi
All
restaurant.
right, now I understand
Fantastic
the
sushi
fine
restaurant.
line we've
I
drawn.
love it.
So
Let's
he,
do it.
as he has before, apparently has a thing for water goddesses or water nymphs
He
of
does
some
seem to
sort.
have that
He
thing.
does.
Who doesn't?
He
Well,
falls
they
for
have flowing
her.
tits and ass, so how
Oh
would
my
you not?
God,
Yeah.
I can't even get over. I love him so much.
He falls for her.
Sorry.
So needs to get permission or like hear from the father, the Fisher King.
What?
And the Fisher King.
That's a whole reference I don't think he gets, so I'm just gonna move on.
No,
move,
I've heard
move,
of it. Okay.
Move.
The Fisher King has terms, and he's like, she can go with you on the condition that the kids you have with her become king. She can be the queen, like she can go with him to the palace, but any kids they have, like the kids that they have,
Yeah.
that's the bloodline that's going to follow for the king.
I mean, that would happen regardless, right?
Devavrata is there.
Oh shit!
So it has to be skipped over?
That's what he is
Not
asking.
cool.
No, he's so
Not
cool though.
cool.
Everybody loves Devavratha.
Nope,
he's
not
like
on
the
board.
cool kid.
I
He's
don't
got
like
the
that.
tips,
Nope.
and he serves.
It's
and he's-
Keanu.
and he's
Keanu can't be
super-
skipped over.
No, he's so popular. Everybody
so popular.
loves him.
Okay, what happens to him?
I don't like it.
The king Shantanu can't do it.
Great. He shouldn't.
He can't do it.
That's not the right thing to do.
He
Goodness.
says, I can't do that to my son. Like, and especially with all the
And my
gifts that
previous
he
wife,
has.
she's gonna be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
She's a goddess, so
Yeah. So he leaves.
great.
He leaves, goes back, and the dude's miserable. He feels
Which dude?
Shantanu
Okay, Sean.
miserable.
Yeah.
And Devavrata, his son, picks up on this.
Sure.
As one might.
You know, like tries to be there
He's
with
so
him, encourage him to
well-rounded.
talk, and doesn't know what's going on. Like doesn't know why. No one knows what really happened. And so Devavrata ends up doing some investigations. Realizes like when this shift happened. Goes to talk to the charioteer who kind of brought him to the Yamuna River and gets information from him to know where he went. So Devavrata goes there. And he finds the Fisher King and the daughter. And the charioteer told him what he knows. That he was asked to be... your father asked for this woman to be his wife. And the father refused for some reason.
Okay.
So Devavrata storms in to this little hut. Sees the king of the fishermen. What the fuck is going on? Like, he's a king. Like, why would you refuse of all people? Like my father.
Oh. He's got his dad's back. He's his dad's wingman.
It's very sweet.
So
It's
the
very
king
sweet.
kind of takes his time, and he's like, I didn't refuse. Let me tell you some things about my daughter. And he doesn't tell them about the whole bone of a fish thing. But he does tell them of the time when she was blessed. When, like, her smell changed and she became blessed. Like, she is meant to have a
Called
lineage.
puberty,
Right?
by the way.
Let's just name it.
I feel like
so
they're just
it's
talking
more
about puberty.
accessible to humans.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking confusing right now.
I know.
So if you just say, hey, that was when puberty happened, that makes a lot of sense.
It just kind of hit me. That just seems like
Got it. When
Yeah.
you stop smelling like fish. I mean, that is, you start actually smelling like fish during puberty is more accurate.
Oh dear.
But I got you. To your point, I get it. Got it. Move on.
But okay, sorry.
Where was I? Yeah, so he tells him that, and I believe that like he has also heard from a sage that of the destiny his daughter will hold to be father of kings. He actually also doesn't know mother of she will have the lineage,
Mother of King.
and he actually doesn't know about like her previous child
Okay.
at all. That was kind of That's so he's heard from a sage that this must happen, so he has to hold out, and this is if she's gonna marry a king, the prophecies that he's heard has said this much. I can't let her go to be queen unless this is guaranteed. And so Devavrata renounces his lineage.
What?
And he says, okay, for his father, I'm fine with this. Like, her kids with my father, they will have the lineage.
Huh.
And the king is surprised, actually. Like,
Sure.
he realizes this is a big thing to give up. And he's, but he's also saying that, I mean, that's great that it'll come from you, but what happens down the line? What happens down the line when you have kids and they will challenge that? Mm. There's no guarantee here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Devavrata says, let me take her, and I will guarantee it.
Huh.
So they go back. Actually, no, before they go back,
Wait, who's he taking?
Satyavati, so the
Okay.
daughter, to be his father's bride.
I see. I thought he was taking her for a bride for some reason for a second, and I was like, that's a real dick move. It would be a dick move.
He
I
steps.
don't think he would do it.
No,
It's not his,
Just
it's
gave
not
up.
in his
he loves
heart.
his father.
The kingship.
Oh God, he loves
The
his
king-
father.
the-
so
He
much.
has not
He
just
didn't even
given
know his
up the
father for
kingship.
16 years.
I'm sorry.
Wait, he hasn't?
I'm sorry. Hang on. What?
What?
He's not
He
just
did,
giving
though.
up the kingship.
Tell us
He
why.
steps
Then he's
out.
holding something closer to his vest than we know.
He steps out. He had to guarantee that this wouldn't happen. Like, he had to guarantee that no kids would challenge. So he steps out of the hut and promises, vows to the gods.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
He will not have children. He will not take a wife. Ever. In his entire life, he vows to the entire universe.
Okay.
He will not have children.
But his father still can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now there's no way he's like, so as long as he's like, we believed his vow, we believed that he would never take the lineage.
Right.
But especially now, he's never going to have children.
Okay.
So he will never have the lineage. There's no one like, the argument that, oh, your kids could argue, like, well, if he doesn't have kids. So he has vowed to not take children, to not have children, ever in his life. So that lineage will never be challenged by offspring.
The king isn't going to have children?
No,
Or his son isn't going to
Devavrata.
have. But if the king has children,
Yeah,
then...
it'll be with the
Yeah.
new wife.
Right. But
And
then...
they will usurp what's his
then they
name's
will-
Yeah.
ability to be king. But he has just given that up. So all he's saying is, I won't have any wife or children to further challenge the monarchy.
I was
Yeah.
like, this seems moot.
Yeah,
But what he's
But
saying
it's
is,
not.
because he can only guarantee his own heart.
yeah.
Right.
So what he's saying is, and I will not have a wife or children, so that nobody
So that
else
nobody
beyond
else will
me
Yeah.
Attempt.
can challenge the monarchy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're on
Thank
the
you.
same page.
Okay.
That makes total sense
Yep,
now.
got it.
I just...
Powerful vow.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Powerful vow.
Man.
So he takes the
He's
wife.
so good.
Is he? We'll
I
see.
think he is.
I don't trust anybody.
I think he's good.
I hope he is.
It's
He
his hair.
takes. He means the vow. He absolutely 100% means this vow.
Okay.
You say that now.
He's so Keanu.
He takes her back, and
Bro.
to his father, and his father's like, "What's happening?" Like, and sees her excited, and like why? Like, and then like just kind of gets the full story and realizes what his son has given up. Yeah, essentially giving up happiness.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
he, in this moment, with this power of this, and 20 years of celibacy as well for the king, he casts his own blessing on his son for this magnificent sacrifice, saying that you will only die when you are ready to do so. And at this point...
Is that a blessing?
Maybe.
Okay.
Do you remember the curse that was on him?
Yeah,
He
wanted
will
to live
live-
as little as possible. So
But
that
this
means
is
he
an
dropped
eternal
dead.
life.
That means he dropped dead immediately when his father made that blessing. Because his life was
No.
originally supposed to be as short as possible.
No, but
That
he's
was the first
eighth
7.
one. Which was supposed
because
to live
he was the one that
a
instigated.
long, painful life. Like, extremely long. The 8th one was supposed to. Yeah.
And so now that's coming to pass because he has been told by his king, by his father. And keep in mind that the gods, very few gods, there's only like one example, they don't know their previous lives. So they don't know like this curse that they're on to live a long, extensive life. Okay. In this case. But, but in the context of what's happening here, like, when he's ready to die, but he will not die before then. And then he's renamed Bheeshma. And this is the name he carries throughout the Mahabharata.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is he renamed Bheeshma?
I do not remember what it means, but it's Sanskrit stuff.
That wasn't the question.
Oh.
Why is he renamed?
Yeah, why can't he still use his old name?
It's because the new name...
Is it just like a representation of this is his new
life? The names mean something, and so
Sure.
to show somehow within the Sanskrit name of his meaning, like it carries the goodness and the grace that he has done.
Okay.
So...
Never to sex again.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And Satyavati, keep in mind, is like she grew up in the forest, in the woods.
She's the
simple
fish girl,
life.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the new wife and mother to the 2 kids.
Yes.
That have been born.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it just kind of works out with all the Shantanu and the wife, Satyavati, they spend a lot of time together. Raising the kids actually just ends up falling joyfully for everyone on Bheeshma. So Bheeshma ends up raising his half-brothers.
Okay. That's kind of sweet.
Shantanu Shantanu lives good old life, calm, and passes on from the world. And now, for the next chapter, we're waiting to see when these kids will grow up and they will assume the throne.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'll stop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. That was
a lot to take in.
That was such a great story, though. Like, the 8th. Oh.
The 2 curses, right?
2 curses.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what... Okay.
Listen, Rhiannon is just processing her thoughts.
Yep, there's no sound. They're not missing anything. I'm just trying to figure out what to say next. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you mentioned Nordic mythology in the beginning, and I remember first learning about Nordic mythology and be like, why do all the gods' names sound the same?
Mm-hmm.
Freya, Freyr, Freyja. I think I just made up the 3rd one, but I wanted to make the point that they start to sound the same. And I'll 1000% admit that part of it is just I'm unfamiliar with the language, so the names start to blend together because the syllables are sounding the same to me. So, like, names weren't very helpful to me.
Yeah. The names are the one thing I'm like writing down. It's like what I'm enjoying from doing it this time in this way. I'm actually learning the names. So in some ways the names are for me.
I agree.
Because I want to be able to know the names myself. And I've read this many times now, and I can guarantee you that all these names that I've mentioned for this and previous episodes, I didn't know whenever I went back into it. Like, these aren't the people. Bheeshma stays with me.
Bheeshma's. Yeah.
Bheeshma will
2 syllables you can manage.
throughout the Mahabharata.
Also, Bheeshma. Such a good dude.
It's a good name.
And he is there. He is going to be there throughout the Mahabharata.
So he decides to
Throughout.
live. He decides to live. This is what you're spoiling right now.
You like it? What's on our mind?
I did like it. I'm trying to contextualize it with other mythological stories that I know, and I can't think of one that it really compares to.
That's why.
So that I can can
Why, it's
put it
interesting, right?
into my imagination.
I've always been of the whole monomyth idea. Like when I got into mythology with Nordic mythology and Greek and Roman
like
are kind of the
Joseph
same.
Campbell made me obsessed.
Yes,
With, you know,
and you
myths
can-
all over the world have
And you can see
similarities.
those similarities quite, like I can see them a little clearly between, let's say, Nordic and Greek.
For
you know?
sure.
Like Zeus,
That's
Odin,
easy.
Yeah, of
one-eyed
course.
god.
That's
Of
easy
course.
So there are similarities, but I do struggle to find that when the Mahabharata and other
Oh,
mythologies
it's so many more gods. So
and the
many more
relationships
characters.
between them, and then the whole reincarnation thing
It fucks with
changes everything.
Yeah.
it. I mean, there is that in Nordic mythology.
Okay.
It's the whole cyclical thing. The nine world Ragnarok
Mm-hmm.
happens in a cycle.
Yeah,
So it's not necessarily, they don't think about it as the
but you don't have.
individuals being reincarnated.
Yeah.
But they are in effect.
In effect, they
The
are.
world just keeps recycling the same stories, and gods and humans are constantly trying to break out of it, but they can't stop the cycle. It's
So
not an
this is-
individual death. It's the whole world ends,
Yeah.
and then everybody restarts anew.
And that's like an interesting thing is to read like the different philosophies of how like Indian mythology definitely does work differently with the idea that they're almost like the acceptance of the cyclical nature. Mm-hmm. And I've read like one mythologist, my favorite, Devdutt Pattanak, who is one of my favorite mythologists.
Say that again?
Devdutt Pattanak, Pattanik.
Cool.
But his he did kind of talks about how just there are just some stark differences in some of these within Indian mythology that is still kind of practiced today. One thing about Indian mythology and Hinduism is that to acknowledge is that this is an evolving religion. It's still changing. It always has been changing. There were times when you had like people who followed Vishnu and people who followed Shiva, and they were rivals. There were times when there were no like higher up gods like Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma.
Well,
And the
there's still
Mahabharata
temples.
kind of starts before this, in the sense that all these gods that we're mentioning, they're not, the all-powerful being gods.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like some of the theories that these concepts came later, but then these gods did come into the story of the Mahabharata over time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as that happened, there was these ideas of such and such as the reincarnation of such and such. But you have like Vishnu, who has 8 avatars, known avatars. Before the Mahabharata, there's a story called the Ramayana, the Ramayana, and Vishnu is a main character as a prince in that story, and then passes, and now he is a forthcoming character in the Mahabharata as well. So that makes it. So with all the timelines, with all the history, with the way it changes, and like different cultures have also adapted and changed the story,
Sure.
it's fucking big. And there's
Yeah.
definitely no one way to tell this, as there shouldn't be. But yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
So with that in mind,
Thank you
love
for joining
I love
us.
these looks on your faces. Like I feel like you really got it.
Yeah.
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 It was
So,
wonderful.
With that concludes our today's episode, and have an imaginative day. Thank you for listening to this episode of Not Your Mother's Mahabharata. Please like and subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss our next episode. My name is Satish Jayaraj, and I am your storyteller and researcher. My wife and co-host is Azure Anderson. Azure also wrote the theme music, she did all the editing and producing, and essentially did all the work to get this podcast to you. Without her, it would just be me swearing ancient stories to friends in our living room. Join us next time for the next installment of Not Your Mother's Mahabharata.
If you want to support the podcast and hear additional content, you can do so by becoming a member of the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/NYMM podcast. We would like to thank our current patrons, Dinosaur Sauce, Errol the Hamster, and Praveen Prem Kumar for their support. Thank you. Have an imaginative day.